All right, so I've got the truck in for some warranty work, so I picked up a rental. Corporate discounts sure are nice if you've got one at your disposal. Really makes it make sense to get a rental vehicle on your own dime. Not a huge deal, but anyways. So I grabbed this. It's a 2021 Toyota Prius LE. It's not a bad car, actually. This is just gonna be a quick tour of this thing. Not really gonna be anything too special as far as a full in-depth review. We'll just take a quick look at it, show you guys the interior. I think they definitely made a big stride in the way that these things look. Because I remember the second and third gen, even the first gen was probably the ugliest, but these newest ones actually look decent. I mean, they still kind of have that shape of the original Priuses. At least the second gen is the one that I'm referencing, not the very first one. But it drives nice. I do have a couple complaints with it, nothing too major. Let's take a look at the back. Here's the key fob. And then here, it's very likely that this is a, pretty sure this is an emergency key. Yep, that's exactly what that is. So now with it open up the rear end. One thing I do like about these cars, and even the aforementioned second and third gen models, they have a lot of trunk space. Being that it's a hatchback with 4 doors, you get that luxury. And actually, I'm gonna lower that down and move these forward too. I'm not too sure. These are kind of in the way. I'll touch on that a little bit later, but this is all the trunk space you get. I don't know if this is an add-on or if this comes standard with this trim, but you get a privacy deal here so people don't see what's in your trunk. Smash through the back windshield. Let's see if you get a full-size spare. Doesn't look like it. You do get a donut. There's the tools. There's the jack. I do not like those scissor jacks. It looks like it's already been used. So they've got some sort of polystyrene foam that they've put back here. Not horrible. This is just feels like a stronger cardboard with this mat, so you might want to get a rubber floor mat to put back here if you're looking to load anything that's gonna need it. You also have a cargo hook, one on this side too, a vanity light. So if you want to push the seats forward, you just do that. So you don't have to screw around with anything up front. And another big plus here is the seat belt does not get in the way. So on some cars where they have these fold down seats, the seat belt will come down with the seat like that. But this, you actually get, it's pretty much fully flat. You might have a degree or two that's coming up here. But honestly, that's not bad. In the back on this model, you get 2 USB ports, map pocket with a zipper, as well as another map pocket. Speakers are in the back doors. And of course, if you just want to flip these back up, that's all you have to do. So I'm about 6 feet, and if we go over a bump, I'm gonna feel it on the back of my head. So keep in mind, this is a compact car. If you're gonna put a full-size adult back here, it's gonna be a little cramped, at least with the headroom. But there is a third seat right here. As well as flip-down cup holders. So that's a cool feature. If you want to flip these up, all you have to do is press both of those little switches here, pull forward, and there you go. So now we'll get into the front here. This model does not come with power seats, but you have three-way adjustable seating positions, up and down on the seat itself, backward and forward with the rear part of the seat. And then you have the little lever down here to go back and forth on the track. All four window switches here are the convenience switches, whatever they're called. So it's one touch down. That's a nice feature. Power mirrors, door locks, all that good stuff. It's all pretty much a standard now across the board. So here you have your automatic headlamp controls. This is for brightness level of the gauge cluster. Here is your fuel door, your hood. We'll take a look under there just because. Parking brake, footrest. This one's got cruise control. I think all the Prius models have it. You have adaptive cruise control, which is nice. I've been using that. Lane keep assist, Bluetooth audio. The stereo does Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so that's really nice. Here's your shifter, reverse neutral drive, and then you have engine brake mode, which is for hilly and mountainous terrain. You also have an EV mode, which will immediately shut off if you give the accelerator too much gas. It'll immediately go out of there and just go back in a normal drive mode. So you're supposed to get about 11 to 15 miles out of this based on some of the postings I was reading if you keep it in EV mode. So that's not something I've really messed around with. I put it in it once, and like I said, it came out of it when I gave it too much gas. Decent sized glove box. You also have kind of an accented little spot here. I don't know if they wanted that to be a handhold. I doubt it. Sunglasses holder. Vanity lights. And then you have the SOS button. I guess that's just like OnStore, but Toyota's version. And this one's got that too. I've never seen that feature. Before I forget though, there's really only 3 small problems with this car that I don't like. The first is there's not a hole here in the steering wheel. I like to, when I rest my hand on the steering wheel when I'm driving, to kind of have 1 or 2 fingers right through there. It's kind of just weird for me to hold it here, but that's just one thing that I noticed. Not a big deal, in all honesty. I wish the stick here for the transmission was a little bit longer, maybe out to here, or maybe if it was adjustable, because I've found that it's just kind of in a weird, awkward place, and I don't know, it just kind of felt weird to me, so I noticed that pretty quickly. But out of these items, probably the biggest one is the fact that the entire back end of this car is a blind spot. Now, when you have all 3 of these headrests up, that makes it even worse. They tried to alleviate that by putting that piece of glass right there, but in all honesty, that I mean, it helps a little bit, but it definitely does not solve the fact that these B-pillars are as big as they are. The whole back end of this car is a blind spot, and you're gonna have that issue with any hybrid car that's front-wheel drive and whatnot. That's just going to be across the board. I'm sure the Hyundai is like that, and that's just the way that cars are made now. But with all the safety features built in, and if you're using them correctly, the parking assist and whatnot, and the rear view camera, that shouldn't be that big of a deal. But I digress. Does not have a capless fuel filler. Let's take a look at the engine. No struts on the hood. So yeah, they got to use the prop rod or hold it up like I'm doing, but Here's the engine. ECVT is in there as well. Inverter assembly with converter. So that's probably the ECVT that's been shoehorned inside that thing. Not really too familiar on a lot of the technology that makes these hybrids work. I just, know a very simplistic version of it. This one's got front and rear park assist. I am not sure if that comes standard on the lower trim, but it is a nice feature to have. Now these wheels, I'm not a big fan of these, and the reason why is because they look way too much like base steel wheels. In fact, that's what they look like. So I guess that is a sort of base wheel. That is a very weird design. Never seen anything like that before. A hubcap on an aluminum wheel. Never seen that in my life before. But regardless, I'm not really a fan of that design. Just the way these things look either way. Give it a drive, I guess. Foot on brake. This is a rental, so we'll just get out of that. There's the information window, energy monitor. I'm not going to go through all the features of this thing, but there's the shifter action there, telling you what light you're in. Backup cam, which is of course standard. This tells you basically all your most recent trips, what kind of gas mileage you're getting. Cool feature. I'm not going to hook it up to Apple CarPlay because it's going to stop the video. But as far as I can tell, that number there, 60.7 miles per gallon, is accurate. I took this thing on a drive for, right as it says in here, 73.2 miles. Actually, it's a little bit more than that, probably around 90. And it gets really good gas mileage. No problems there. It's got plenty of power, more than you would expect anyways out of a hybrid and a Prius of all things. You have several different drive modes you can do here. So there's the normal mode, power mode, and eco mode. For the most part, I drove it in eco mode. Of course, down here, you have a place to put your phone, 2 cup holders. You can also put your phone here. But I found that my phone likes to slip out of there when I was turning and whatnot, so I just left it right here. No big deal. I don't really know where this came from, but it's been in here the whole time. I guess it goes here. That's interesting. So let's drive it around a little bit. Like I said, I'm not a professional car reviewer. I'm just a regular guy. And for those wondering, I'm not even looking at the screen on my phone. But I think overall I'm pretty satisfied with this car. If I was in the market for a hybrid, I would probably look at one of these. Toyota's been doing it the longest. They've had the most success with it. The gas mileage on these cars is second actually to the Hyundai Ioniq, which I believe is rated to get 58 to the gallon. This one is rated, I think, 50 city or 52 city and 50 highway or something like that. The Ioniq gets a little bit better. So if that's important to you, Hyundai's got the better warranty for sure. But if I was in the market for a hybrid, just in general, and I was planning on keeping it for a while. It would definitely be between both of those cars. Now you'll notice it starts off in battery and then it switches to the gas motor. All of that's seamless. I don't have any feel or indication or anything other than that what's listed there on the dashboard. But overall, I would say that it's not a bad car all the way around. If I found one for a good deal and I was in the market, I'd probably get one if I had to. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more.